a new team, so many new parts to this group, but since June, we've been building our culture, our chemistry, our camaraderie, and you all got to see a glimpse of that today. We talk about being that defensive team that's disruptive. That was the tone that we wanted to set coming out of the locker room, and we did so. I've known Karen for a very long time, their head coach, when she was at Charlotte and I was at Wake Forest, so I knew the type of team this was going to be, but we were the tougher team today. We were the grittier team today. And, we sit and we go up and down the stat sheet. Yes, there were 4 players in double figures, but it's bigger than that. I love the energy from our bench. It was a group effort and a team win, and so led by these two. Jaden, we all know, right? And she's our floor general. She's so steady. She has been from day one. But I just thought she commanded everything today. She took what was available. She set the tone. Defensively, she's, her goal is Player of the Year. So every day we want to see that type of performance, and she started out the gate ready. And Maggie, welcome back, Maggie, right? I'm going to clap my hands because we've been waiting for her, and she's worked tirelessly to get back on this court. And she said, she was a spark right out the gate. And so that is just, if we can take this and build on this, and it's going to be a very special season. So I'm proud of these two, but I'm proud of our team, our coaches, our staff, who've all made this possible. It was a great way to open up our season tonight.
Open up the questions. Just make sure to note which player or coach that your questions are for. Go ahead.
Maggie, just first of all, how did it feel to be back out there after missing all of last season?
Oh, it was amazing to be back with my team, playing, being on the court, putting on the jersey for the first time forever. But the biggest thing is I knew I had my teammates back and they had my back, and then I could look to the coaches and they'd be like, no, you're good, calm down, it's okay. So no, it was really fun.
The last person anyone wants to see fall over is you. You get knocked on the court with your back and all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
What was that like? Just what were you feeling like? And I know you were kind of slow to get up, but what was going through your head right there?
Well, first of all, I'm good. Thanks. But I think it was the initial, this is the first game back, my first real hit. And I was like, hold on, I need to know that I'm okay. Yeah, it took me a second, but, the trainer had me, the coaches had me, I was good.
She's okay.
Yeah.
For Coach Natasha, I'm Aya Abdeen for the State Press. So as you emphasize the mantra of getting 1% better every day, which areas stood out to you the most in tonight's victory?
I thought just the tone we set today. We came out focused, right? And we have scout prep before every game, and I thought we followed the scout, the defensive plan right out of the gate, what we were supposed to do. We were changing defenses on their ball screens. We wanted to really attack, and just having 25 transition points, right? We want to score that. The goal on the board was 15 plus. Well, we accomplished that one. So I think it was more about just the 1% effort and energy and focus, discipline, toughness, everything out of the gate from the group.
Thank you.
Jaden, offensively, just in the first half, what was working for you all?
I think just being aggressive and then getting downhill and then finding the shooters if they collapse, just reading the defense. I think we did a good job of that. And just hyping each other up. We got the momentum going early, Maggie hitting threes, people running the floor. That's what we've been trying to do all summer, so it just feels nice to put it all together.
Coach, going to the defensive side of things, perimeter defense was kind of a struggle for this team last season. You guys had the largest field goal percentage allowed when it comes to beyond the arc. This time, tonight, you allowed 15% from beyond the arc, 2 for 13. What was the message of perimeter defense coming into the season and more specifically coming into tonight?
Well, I think we, just with this group, we've been together since June. And, versus a year ago, it was just ebbs and flows on who we had, and we never had a flow from a player perspective. But we do have a flow now. So I think we've been able to practice it. They understand the philosophy and the expectations of it, and we've been able to drill it literally day after day after day. So part of the scout plan that they followed to a T, but that's just that's the emphasis on how we're going to play.
Jaden, you had 3 steals in the first half, and then the whole team had 12 for the whole game. And about every steal was converted to points. So what can you say with the effort on defense and then transition it straight to offense just like that?
I always take defense seriously, and she already told me I need a bunch of steals. So just locking in and following the scout, and defense is what I like to do first. So I don't want to say, it's just a habit, really.
And it activates us.
Yeah.
You know, those are things we work on in practice, right? We want to work on that advantage break, get in that 3-on-2, get in that 2-on-1, and converting it from our defense. So it's easy when you practice it and then you see it in a game. It just becomes second nature.
Coach,
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So with the non-con, looking before you get into the conference schedule, you guys have a very home-heavy schedule, I
Yes,
guess. And
yes.
so what advantages, was that part of the planning? What advantages does that bring? How good does it feel to come out on the first night and set
Right.
the tone early?
Well, everyone wants home court advantage, right? And so for us to be at home, for our fans to get to see us, I felt like a year ago they really didn't, you know, we weren't home a lot. And so now they get to see this team. They get to meet the players, know the players, feel the energy, and they're going to be our sixth woman and man. And so it's nothing like creating that atmosphere and energy at home. So I'm glad that we have a lot of games at home, and it'll just help protect home court, especially down the road.
Coach, what do you think you all need to improve on before Montana State?
Probably rebounding, you know, and fouling. I thought there were a lot of hand checks called, but you know what? It's good to be aggressive out of the gate. We can work on bringing that and dialing that back versus the other. And so we can watch film, we can talk about hand checking and rebounding. Rebounding, some of it is just positioning, but if we were the aggressive team, I'm okay with that.
This can be for Jaden or Maggie, but with Ty Skinner out for the whole season, what is that, you know, what is her strength off the bench? Is that she has motivation, or what she's saying to you guys? What's that like for you guys on the court?
For me, I mean, it's just second, like, eyes on the court. You know, Ty's always going to talk. She's always going to tell us what it is. And I think she's just so vocal that it helps me. Like, she's like, Jaden, see this? Hey, we need a bucket now because we didn't score the last 2 possessions. Like, she's still active, you know, she's not on the court. But Ty's just good to have around.
I don't think she skipped a beat, like with her vocal leadership and everything. And then it's a different perspective from being like on the sideline versus on the court. So if Jaden doesn't see something, Ty does, and then Ty shares it with Jaden. So.
Maggie, going back to the rebounding issue, last season was definitely a struggle for rebounding, specifically on the offensive side of the board. With you being out all of last season and then you coming into tonight, your first game back, you lead the team in rebounds. Just talk about necessarily what was that approach coming into your first game back, about the rebounding approach, and what do you think you can probably spread to the rest of your front court teammates when it comes to that new approach going into Montana State?
Yeah, I just think it's like a see ball, get ball. Like it's an effort thing. It's not like there's a talent to it. It's physical, put your body into them, go get the ball. But if you're not getting it, you're boxing the other person out, and like I let Jane go get it, Trey go get it, whoever it is. So it's not like I want it personally, it's how can I help the team? And then I think that's what we all need to see is like a group effort of I box out, Jane go gets it, like stuff like that.
Maggie, was there a point where you really didn't know if you'd be back here playing, and what are your emotions about just really getting back out there after everything you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's butterflies and everything, but getting the jersey on, warm up and everything just like hit me. It was so real. And then at the end of the game, I don't think this smile has left my face. So it's just surreal, and I'm extremely grateful for it.
Coach, you talked about approaching offensively from a fast pace from the very beginning. You shot in the first quarter 53% from the field, which I think a lot of people may not have been expecting coming in. What is that approach going to be like game in, game out, just being like, okay, if we have a decent first quarter lead, we can at least have our defensive be the focus going forward? Was that always a game plan going into this season and then coming into tonight?
Absolutely. Our mantra is defend, rebound, run, and score in that order. And that's how we drill it every day. Our defense is going to create our offense. Our defense is going to create our transition points and our tempo. But we also are going to take pride in the half court. If we don't have quick transition points, then you'll see us execute. And so we really, every day, we drill 10 possessions offense. We got to score 50% or better. We'll go perfect possession defense and put 30 seconds on the shot clock, and we need to guard without fouling. And so these are things that we walk through every day in practice. So when it comes to game, I can sit in the timeout and say, hey, this is cycles in transition. This is 10 possessions. So to give them that point of reference that they've done it, they're already prepared for it. But you're going to see our defense create the tempo for how we're going to play.
Natasha, you might have heard Colorado beat LSU tonight.
I did hear that.
Obviously, USC beat Ohio State earlier. What does that say? You already knew about the conference anyway, but what does it say even more so with this on the opening day of the season?
That Pac-12's pretty good, huh? We're a part of the Conference of Champions, and so I'm excited, you know, and they get to see that we had a win tonight too. So not really focused on them, but you know, it represents the Pac, and excited to be a part of it.
And with that, the Pac-12 doing so well out the gate here, being the last time you're going to be in the Pac-12,
Yeah.
how is that, you know, going into the season with all of the Pac-12 schools, including yourself, how you want to attack this season?
We want to win the Pac. That doesn't change. We want to make a statement in the Pac. And so again, you got to get the first one, and that's what we did.